negotiators. He said, I just want to congratulate everybody in this room for the fantastic job that you did. Then he said that the USMCA is the best deal possible to protect workers all around this country. We agree with the member from Rosemont-Petit.
Alors, honorable député, député de Rosemont-Petit.
Mr. Speaker, is anyone surprised that Liberals don't want to talk about workers who are losing their jobs? Yeah. Dairy farmers are not happy. Medication prices are going to explode. And steel and aluminum workers can't believe this government signed a deal that continues to put their job at risk. Aluminum workers from Unifor are here today on the Hill asking this Prime Minister not to sign the USMCA until tariffs are off the table. What is the Prime Minister is going to tell those workers right here, right now?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Once again, Mr. Speaker, we see a situation in which the NDP says one thing in this House, but says another thing behind closed doors. Je peux dire, le député de Rosemont-la-Petite-Patrie a dit le AEMC était le meilleur accord possible. Il a avoué que ça va protéger les travailleurs partout au pays. Nous savons que nous allons toujours protéger les travailleurs. C'est ce qu'on a dit aux travailleurs en acier et l'aluminium. C'est ce qu'on a dit aux travailleurs dans les secteurs laitiers. C'est ce qu'on va dire à travers le pays et c'est ce qu'on va faire, Monsieur le Président.
I'd have to remind the member for New Westminster, Burnaby, and some others near him not to interrupt when someone else has the floor. I appreciate his agreement to that. Honorable député de Richmond-Athabasca.
Monsieur le Président, le Premier ministre s'entête depuis 2 semaines à défendre l'accès aux données confidentielles et personnelles de 500 000 Canadiens sans leur consentement. Le commissaire à la vie privée a lancé une enquête tellement la situation est troublante et une pétition lancée il y a 6 jours seulement qui regroupe plus de 19 000 personnes, a demandé l'arrêt de la procédure. Le Premier ministre va-t-il enfin écouter les Canadiens et mettre un terme immédiatement à cette grave intrusion dans la vie privée des gens?
Monsieur le Président, nous prenons la protection de la vie privée des Canadiens au sérieux, tout comme Statistique Canada. En effet, Statistique Canada a communiqué avec le commissaire à la protection de la vie privée concernant ce projet pilote qui n'a pas encore été lancé. Alors, nous allons continuer de travailler pour s'assurer que la protection de la vie privée soit une priorité et pour Statistique Canada et pour notre gouvernement. Mais je dois souligner que ce sont ces mêmes arguments par rapport à la vie privée des Canadiens que les conservateurs ont utilisé pour éliminer le recensement au formulaire long. C'était une décision qui a été décevant pour les Canadiens.
L'honorable député de Richmond-Athabasca.
Monsieur le Président, pendant que le Premier ministre répète la cassette, voici ce que les Canadiens pensent réellement. Aline, de quoi se mêle le gouvernement? Ils ne savent pas ce que veut dire confidentiel et personnel. Marcel, c'est triste la manière dont nous sommes dirigés par le gouvernement du Premier ministre. Catherine, c'est totalement inadmissible. Je m'oppose à cette façon de faire. Les risques sont énormes et la manœuvre intrusive. Des messages comme ceux-là, on en a reçu des centaines et des centaines. Alors, je répète ma question pour la 12e fois depuis 2 semaines au Premier ministre. Va-t-il mettre fin à cette situation inacceptable immédiatement?
Oui. Monsieur le Président, permettez-moi de rassurer directement ces Canadiens que, contrairement à ce que les conservateurs sont en train de leur dire pour leur faire peur, nous allons toujours protéger la vie privée des Canadiens. Nous travaillons avec le commissaire à la protection de la vie privée pour s'assurer que toutes ces données-là sont rendues anonymes, sont travaillées de façon contrôlée et qu'il n'y a aucun danger de partage de ces informations. Les Canadiens peuvent savoir que ce gouvernement va toujours protéger leur vie privée.
Honourable member for Thornhill.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister needs to wake up, to understand that Canadians reject the government's support of Stats Canada's harvest of deeply personal financial data without asking permission. Canadians realise that Europeans this year have new privacy laws that prohibit this sort of privacy exposure without the specific consent of clients. Mr. Speaker, why won't the Prime Minister accept that Canadians own all of their personal information, financial or otherwise, that they should decide whether that data is shared or not?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, if you remember well, in the years leading up to the 2015 election, we heard Conservatives making these arguments left, right and centre about the need to protect Canadians from the intrusiveness of Statistics Canada. Well, Canadians rejected that approach by the Conservatives, and there were celebrations across the country when the very first thing we did was restore the long-form census at Statistics Canada, so that decisions could be based on evidence and data and not ideology. We will always protect Canadians' privacy and do it.
Honourable Member for Central Okanagan's Milkman Nickel.
I really hope the Prime Minister would tell that to the 27 million Canadians whose information was compelled by a credit bureau to Statistics Canada that is contrary to what he said without any of their consent, Mr. Speaker. Now, these Liberals don't seem to understand that the personal information of Canadians does not belong to the government. They believe they have the right to know what everyone is doing with their finances all the time. Now, on this side of the House, we believe that access to that kind of information requires consent. No consent, Mr. Speaker, no data. Why is this Prime Minister still refusing to listen to Canadians who want this program cancelled?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, once again, these are the same arguments they made about Statistics Canada compelling people to fill out the long-form census. Well, in 2015, in that election, Canadians spoke loudly and clearly, rejected the Conservative vision of policies based on ideology rather than on evidence and data. We will not engage in the kind of fear-mongering they are trying to do around Canadians and their data, because we can state unequivocally to Canadians that we continue to protect their data. We continue to understand how important it is to work with the Privacy Commissioner to ensure that happens.
Honourable Member for Milton.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister has just clearly said that it's their #1 priority to protect Canadians' data. Perhaps he'd like to explain to us today why Canada Post allowed a breach of 4,500 cannabis purchasers in Ontario, their private data, their credit card numbers. That was just hacked within the government that he says protects Canadians' privacy. Would he like to explain to us exactly how that happened?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, like I said, our government takes very seriously the protection of Canadians' information from unauthorized access, use, disclosure, modification, transmittal, or disposal. Security measures are in place, and their compliance is ensured through routine inspection of sites and systems where sensitive information and assets are processed or stored. An issue that came up between the Ontario Cannabis Store and Canada Post was flagged, was fixed, and Canadians can be sure that will not happen moving forward.
Allah. Order. The Honourable Member for Milton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That pre-written apology that the Prime Minister just gave moments ago will be cold comfort to any Canadian whose private financial data could be hacked in the future. This government cannot protect the privacy data. And when the Prime Minister indicates that it's the long-form census that is the reason why Canadians are in favour, or against rather, the removal of their data from their banks. The reality is there's a big difference. In the long-form census, they voluntarily gave their information. In StatsCan, they're ripping it out of their bank accounts. Prime Minister, stop this action?
Honourable Prime Minister.
Once again, Mr. Speaker, we see how short the Conservatives' memories are. The issue they had was that the long-form census was mandatory, Mr. Speaker, not voluntary. That is why they eliminated the long-form census and why we campaigned on a promise to respect Statistics Canada, to ensure that we protected Canadians' privacy every step of the way, but to ensure that data be the foundation for evidence-based policy, that we work in a way that protects Canadians and delivers to them the services they need, as opposed to what the Conservatives wanted to do and eliminate the long-form census and Statistics Canada.
Honourable Member for North Island, Powell River.
Mr. Speaker, the federal government chose their method of